for now, let's do a little foosball. And it's a different little bit of foosball this week because there's two, I've become a New York City guy, lived here for a few years now, coming up on 3 years. Oh, 1, oh, 2, 3 years. I've been enjoying this Giants football season, and I was allowed to enjoy this football Giants season because my Broncos had been one of the worst watches in football history. Coming up until recently, Hackett's gone and the program looks a little better. I'll buy some stock for my Broncos next year, but until we get there, I wanted to do some Giants and the Jets because in the city you get to feel it a little more. And shout out to our guys talking Giants. They've been waiting for this season for a couple years now. Panic at the game, enjoying it. Bobby with some viral internet videos yesterday. Kayvon Thibodeau doing snow angels next to a injured Nick Foles. A tough look, a complete accident. And very much Bobby Skinner's brand of humor, which was perfect for him. Some kind of like I think you should leave. Bobby Skinner isn't I think you should leave, but with having just being blind to it. And that's Kayvon Thibodeau doing the snow angels next to Nick Foles. I think did he hit him with the night when he got to the bench too? Because that's not great.
I know. Yeah, I know there was something that happened when he got back there. People didn't like.
But guess what? Winning is what people care about in sports and their sports teams. And the Giants won to get into the playoffs. The first time in the playoffs since 2016. The boat picture, everyone loved that fun fact so much. And I mean, what can you say for Dayball and the program they've put in? It's felt fun. It's felt New York City. It's felt, embracing the media and everything that comes with it. Man, I've been tough on their wide receivers. I thought they should have done something at the deadline because I don't know how many of these years are going to roll around. I don't know how many people are going to be picking the Giants to be an 11-win team next year. I guess we'll see how the rest of this unfolds a little bit. Isaiah Hodgins breaking out for them has been massive. Was it 4 touchdowns in 5 games, something like that?
Just reliable.
Yeah, and man, it's going to be exciting for next year for the Talking Giants faithful and any Giants fans, as there's clear spots to add and build and get better. I think wide receiver position, Dayball brought in guys that kind of knew and believed in his system and were looking for opportunities, and it's paid off. Let's see who their matchup is. Man, if they get the Vikings, whoo doggy, boy, would that be exciting as they got embarrassed at the party at this weekend by Rodgers, who may have just invited himself back to the dance. How fun is that? Dayball, can't give him enough credit. Daniel Jones. Again, I was wondering if I was living in a Daniel Jones echo chamber, being so close to the Talking Giants guys. I kept seeing stats on how good he is at deep balls and if you're a sports person, you've seen all the running stuff, right? Like how athletic he truly is, and he shows it with 2 rushing touchdowns in yesterday's game. On the year, let's see, 67% completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay, with him, you should factor in the rushing stats too, right? I mean, he's got 7 touchdowns, 708 yards on the ground this year, 6 yards an attempt. So again, for some reason, we don't lump him into the kind of dual threat quarterbacks. He's put together a real nice year, and he doesn't turn the ball over, and that's kind of what they've asked with their defense. A fun season. Every game feels like a fun Giants game, except maybe that like Philly blowout.
Very few games that weren't fun for the most part, start to finish.
You eyed the schedule. You knew it was going to get tougher the rest of the way, and it did. But again, they won and tied the games they had to win and tie. They're going dancing. Everyone's asking questions about Saquon and Daniel Jones because their contracts are up, and we heard rumors that they're trying to negotiate with them. No idea how that plays out. And Giants fans, you don't even need to go there. I know Daniel Jones will be back after what they've done this series and this year, getting to the playoffs, and contract stuff they can use, whether franchise tag or otherwise. Daniel Jones will be back. And again, if you can give me, I was watching the Steelers games last night, and their skill players, man, Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, who's the young guy they drafted this year on the outside that everyone loves?
Pickens.
Pickett to Pickens. That's right. Like if you gave me those skill guys on the Giants, I truly wonder what their offense could be. And Najee Harris and Saquon, I don't pick your poison there. I think that's fine. But the wide receiving units, even Freiermuth at tight end for the Steelers, although the Giants have gotten good contribution from their guys there. Let's hope they get the Vikings in their playoff matchup, because I do think they're outgunned by some of the better teams. But as everyone's alluded to all year, I don't think the Vikings are what their record says. And not to toot my own horn a little bit, because there's a lot of injury stuff tied in too, but kind of the teams that seemed sus have come back to earth. Like the Seahawks came back to earth. The Dolphins, that's where I was patting myself on the back, have come back to earth again. Tua, concussions, all of that, I know. And then the other teams that we thought might be back, the Packers have come back the other way. Good on the Giants. We knew there was going to be some regression from where their record was. They're making the playoffs the first time. Was that 8 years? I mean, that's nuts. That's nuts. Anything on your G-Men, Beebs?
Oh, it's hard not to just feel optimistic. It's all, if you can talk yourself into either matchup they end up with for that one playoff game. This year is what it is. You're not expecting Super Bowl or anything, but you can get excited. They played the Vikings very well last time they faced them. A couple fewer mistakes, and you can beat that team. So that's exciting for a playoff matchup, and it seems like the most likely situation. And Niners, for one game, you can talk yourself into it. They don't have either of their top two quarterbacks. Their defense is incredible, and that hasn't slowed them down at all. But you can get yourself optimistic for that one game, and you never know. And it's just been very fun, and you feel good.
I'm glad to hear Giants fans will talk themselves into that. There's a Brock Purdy rookie thing. I'm for that, but man, they are good. Although they almost got Stidhamed yesterday. How about that?
Yeah.
What's going on, NFL?
There's a lane.
There's a lane. The other side of it that I want to hit quick, and again, I mentioned New York base, the Jets. Saleh, they get off to their winning start. I mean, I know roller coaster can be the lamest comparison, but talk about a roller coaster of a season for them. After they snuck out that Browns victory, they had no business winning, and like no team had ever won. Zach Wilson, is he the future? He's not a part of the team anymore. Basically, they said you're not welcome. Mike White fever is breaking out, and he looked really good, but then he got killed that game. His ribs got destroyed. They went back to Wilson, and things fell apart. And it was a little bit, you knew that things were going to come down to earth with the Jets. I guess the one thing that was of comparing the Jets and Giants, offense, defense, coaching, and everything, the best part of any of those is the Jets defense. The Jets defense is awesome. I mean, Sauce Gardner has hit a level of cornerback that's very rare. Like people don't throw that way. And when they do, he's still got the most pass breakups in the NFL. It's really insane what he's turned into. They've obviously invested a lot in their D-line over the years, and that's been an impressive unit. And it's just like a Jets thing. I don't know, like going back to Rex Ryan and a Jets defense without offense, it's kind of where the Jets are comfortable being. Losing that game, I mean, they've got nowhere to look but themselves. They lost to the Lions and Jaguars at home. and then it all comes crashing down, losing to the Seahawks on the road. You still got to like Saleh, the defensive-minded head coach, and they've got the defense. I mean, they're clear. What every outlet is talking about is Derek Carr to the Jets, and what would that team look like this year? I think that should happen. I know there's been some Colts memes out there because the Colts have been trading for quarterbacks every year. I Carr in New York City, a guy that I just don't think he'd be phased by it. Has played in a lot of big games. God guy. I don't think he's going to get poisoned by the big city and the big lights.
He's been in
Um,
Vegas for a couple years now. I don't
yeah,
know.
if that doesn't get you, and yeah, they're ready to move on. Clearly, the Jets could use it. That just seems like a no brainer in my mind. If you're the Jets, it's kind of, I don't know if it was percentages or what's the right way to look at it. The 60% of the good that ended up being the Giants, and just winning those games you needed to get in. They did it. The Jets didn't. I mean, and what are you going to do? You ended up losing 6 of your last 7. I would have loved to see some Mike White games with his ribs healthy down the stretch. And I think it was Mina Kimes. I want to give her credit. That was like, after watching Mike White play at Seattle, I think you can go into this offseason not saying like Mike White might be the guy. Maybe you keep him around because I don't think you can keep Zach Wilson around at all. But you need to address the quarterback spot, which think about what we just talked about with the Giants. Daniel Jones will be back, and I still don't know if he's can be an elite high level quarterback. He can be something for you. Is this his best version of something? Because I don't know where that can get you. If you're the Jets, your clear need. It sucks. I mean, you go in, you beat the Chicago Bears. You're 7-4. It feels like we're going dancing, and it's our year. And the Mike White show had taken off at that point. Things fall apart after that. You've got a great defense. You believe in your head coach and what he can do defensively. You need that quarterback, and there's going to be so many Derek Carr rumors. And I guess that's kind of the good news with the NFL is that now there's so much quarterback movement that it used to feel like if quarterback was your only problem, it felt like you were in hell. Now it feels like you're going to have options. There's going to be a few guys that go early on in the draft this year. Carr's going to be on the move. I was just going to throw out Matt Ryan, but there's really no need to do that. Geno kept the receipts. Who knows? Will Kyler try to tap out of Arizona at some point? That's been rumored. Jets, not what you want to hear. And obviously it was pretty Jetsy as it getsy between all the Zach Wilson stuff, but at least you got some answers. Where, hey, not to spurn the Giants after their win, but say they come back next year and the Giants are 6-11 and Daniel Jones looks mid. Did they just lock him up to a contract? Do they not believe in Daniel Jones? This year for both New York football teams, better than expected, although the Jets really came crashing down as hard as it could. Was fun to enjoy from the city.
Insult to injury for Jets fans, just seeing the Patriots just have a lane to sneak into the playoffs with that team, and that's also a pain point on top of missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots, Dolphins, Jets just I hate saying midfest in the new year, but sheesh. And yeah, if you guys don't know, obviously the playoff scenarios going into it, Packers and Lions, hilarious. I mean, Green Bay, a fan base that feels like they just get everything versus the Lions, the absolute opposite. A win and in for the Packers. Lions would have to beat them and have the Seahawks lose to the Rams, who they've looked bad. Not looking good for our Lions, although, again, massive year for them. All the seeding stuff, we'll probably go through that a little bit more on Wednesday. But was a fun NFL New Year's Eve day, hungover day. Stidham show. How about that? So that's what's that, Beebs?
That was something.
Something. So that's what I got for you guys today. Happy New Year. Love you guys. And yeah, the content train is back on. So we'll see you guys here Wednesday. We'll see you everywhere else. I think there's even a new GeoGuessr today. So that's just how it goes, man. So enjoy all the content. We love you.